Coloman the Book-Lover was king of Hungary. He had to deal with the crusaders from the peoples in the First Crusade in 1096 AD. The rowdy crusaders who passed through his kingdom created all kinds of headaches for him and his fellow countrymen. He was crowned king during the early spring of 1096 AD, right before the crusaders began to march towards his kingdom. Coloman was crowned by the Archbishop of Esztergom, Seraphon. For many years, pilgrims marching to the Holy Land were given safe passage through the Kingdom of Hungary and were allowed to stock up and buy supplies. But the tens of thousands of crusaders heading towards Hungary proved to be a problem. A large mass of people could create and cause all kinds of havoc. The first group of crusaders was led by Walter Sans Avoir, who arrived in early May of 1096. He was granted an audience with King Coloman, who granted him safe passage through Hungary. There was no trouble until the Crusader army was near the Hungarian Eastern Roman border, when several crusaders were robbed of their armor, clothes, and money, after an ill-fated attempt to buy supplies. Peter the Hermit's group arrived several weeks later, and they were given permission to pass through the kingdom by King Coloman, only if Peter could keep his followers in line and not plunder the countryside for food and plunder. However, the crusaders managed to burn the public granaries, ravage virgins, and dishonor many marriage beds by carrying off many women, despite being warned not to. The crusaders also attacked and looted the city of Zimini after seeing the armor of 16 crusaders hanging from the city walls that were taken from Walter Sans Avoir's group. They killed over 4,000 people in the city before the army of Coloman chased them off. A third group of crusaders passed through Hungary and reached the citadel of Nitra weeks later. They plundered the area and tried to take the city, but were crushed by the people. By the middle of June, a fourth contingent of crusaders crossed through Hungary. Because of the trouble the last three caused, Coloman ordered them to leave his kingdom. But the army of Bavarian Swabians, numbering over 15,000, did not take to this kindly and began to loot and plunder the city of Moson. The Hungarian commanders persuaded Coloman to order the crusaders into dropping their weapons in exchange for safe passage through the kingdom. According to the medieval historian Albert of A, they were granted a license to buy and sell necessary supplies, and peace was proclaimed on both sides according to the king's instructions, lest a dispute might arise from such a large army. But when they were delayed there for some days, they began to wander, and the Bavarians and Swabians, a bold race, and the rest of the soldiers foolishly drank too much. They violated the proclaimed peace little by little, stealing wine, barley, and other necessities from the Hungarians. Finally, seizing sheep and cattle in the fields and killing them. They destroyed those who stood up to them and wanted to drive them out. The others committed several crimes, all of which we cannot report, like a people foolish in their boorish habits, unruly and wild. For, as those say who were present, they stabbed a certain young Hungarian in the market street with a stake through his private parts, because of a most contemptible dispute. The king was disturbed by the scandal, so he ordered that the signal should be given to the whole of Hungary to stir the battle in vengeance of this crime and other insults. And not one of the pilgrims was to be spared, because they have carried out this vile deed. In August of 1096, a fifth group of crusaders, led by Count Amicio, tried to cross to the Kingdom of Hungary, but were denied access by Coloman. The crusaders attacked his city and stormed the walls. Coloman was preparing to leave his kingdom and flee to Kiev, Rus, due to the viciousness of the crusaders. But infighting between them, along with the arrival of Coloman's army, broke the siege and gave the soldiers that were stationed inside the city walls the enthusiasm to chase the attackers off. In September, members of the official crusade that was authorized by the Roman Catholic Church made their way to the Kingdom of Hungary. This group was led by Godfrey of Bouillon. He sent the knight who had to deal with the Hungarians to parley with King Coloman. The two met and had an agreement to allow his army safe passage through his kingdom. But Godfrey's younger brother, Baldwin, and his family were left behind as collateral and were let go after his brother's large army of crusaders crossed into the Eastern Roman Empire. By allowing the Crusaders to pass through without incident after several bad encounters, gave Coloman a well-respected reputation amongst his fellow Christian kingdoms in Europe.